El grupo de indígenas Antonio Díaz.
Muchas gracias. Represento el Concilio Indígena de Texas. I represent Texas Indigenous Council, and those of you out there that have already seen me around, you know that. You know, the Minutemen, Border Watch, the Tea Baggers, the Tea Party, they all like to say that this is a nation of laws. You know, well, these laws landed on our indigenous continent as heavy as those 3 ships Columbus came on top of our heads. And they've been imposing these laws on the indigenous people for over 500 years. Now they've got it down to an art and a science. They modify it every time they want to call us foreigners on our own land. That's what racial profiling is about. We're one people. Now that these foreign powers have formed these governments on our lands and set up boundaries and borders and nationalities over us, one people and one continent, and they call us foreigners on our land. That's how they can distinguish who we are, whether we're on that side of the river or this side of the river, because we still look alike. We still look like our ancestors, and they still haven't wiped us out. They may be brainwashing us and forcing us to assimilate to an identity not ours but theirs, but they know we're not them, and they don't want us around. They want to erase us. But we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We're going to honor the sacrifice of our ancestors as we walk on their bones. As a nation of laws, one of the first credos of the United States is everyone is presumed innocent until found guilty, unless you have brown skin. That's called reasonable suspicion. If you're brown and you're walking around the streets of Arizona right now, that's enough to say it's reasonable suspicion to consider you a criminal. Detain you, ask for your papers, and even if you're a Chicano from here and just happened that you were maybe in a hurry to get your newspaper and didn't put your wallet in your pants with your ID, or a Chicana that somehow forgot her wallet too, and you're with your babies, they don't care. They'll arrest you and take your kids and put them somewhere, child care center. They don't care. That's what's going on today. And that's why we're here. Yes, it is May 1st, and we honor International Workers' Day. But somehow, even though this government, ever since they took our land and empowered themselves enough to reach out all the way to the southwest border into California and Mexico, they've been contracting our labor, contracting us, because that's the next thing to slavery. And that's all they want to give us, worker programs. That's their idea of legalizing our people. Give us worker programs and then send us back. But we cannot fall in love with a U.S. citizen. We cannot have children. We cannot form ties here. We cannot have businesses. We cannot own homes. We have to leave within a certain length of time. Whether it's 2 years or 8 years, what really does that matter when they tear us, when we build ties with loved ones here? What does that matter? All these issues need to be considered when they speak of immigration legislation. But the main issue they need to consider is who we are. That we are the descendants of the original people of this land. And we must remember that. When all of us forget that, when we all forget that, then is when we can really say, why are they picking on me? Because we won't remember why. They'll know why, but we won't. That happens to a lot of us today. But some of us still know who we are. That's why I say, I am the spokesperson for Texas Indigenous Council. And that is our fight, to keep our people aware of our identity. And I don't mean it in a mean way, because our ancestors, when they saw all other ethnicities coming off those chips, they saw them walking on 2 legs that had 2 arms and 1 head. And you know what? They knew that we were all from one family, the human race. And that's what we need to embrace. We need to embrace one another as human beings and not listen to what these governments want to do to us. We need to tell the government what it is we want. What is the will of the people? We, the people, tell the government what we want. From my tiola, it's my heart, soul in my heart, Tlazo Tlamati. Gracias. Mexica Tiahui, 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 Mexica!